Oh man, The Walking Dead is finally back. I was so freaking satisfied with last night's episode. Last night's episode of The Walking Dead was amazing. So pretty much this is going to kind of be a review, but I'm mostly just gonna get hype about this episode because this was a really enjoyable episode. So excuse me if I fanboy out a little bit in this video. So this episode was absolutely fantastic. Pretty much last night was episode 812 of The Walking Dead. God, what was the name? I can't remember the name of the episode now. I don't know why. It was like super short, like one word, but whatever. 812, pretty much the big thing in this episode was Rick versus Negan. And then they had this whole other side storyline with Maggie, Masone, Enid, Rosita, all of them at the hilltop. You know, they met a new group of people or whatever. And people are speculating things about them, but I'm not going to say anything just quite yet. Right now, I just want to focus on Rick versus Negan for the first part of this video because that fight was amazing. Like, and I predicted this in my predictions video. If you got a chance to see that, I actually said that I think this would be the big fight between Rick and Negan before the war ends, because I don't think they're going to have another big fight towards the end of the war. I think it's going to just be one last quick confrontation. I think it's going to be over pretty quick. So I felt like this was definitely their big death match that those two are going to get. So with that being said, this had to be big, you know, this had to be a big deal, and they definitely made it one. Like, all the writing during this fight was amazing. You know, Negan doing all his classic Negan lines, like what is wrong with you, Rick? Or, you maniac, you're gonna kill us all, or get your hands off. Like stuff like that, lines like that, dialogue. Then you have Rick saying stuff like, as long as you die first, all that kind of stuff. You can't even save this bat, but I'll give you a chance to say goodbye and stuff. It was all great. Like, when he lit Lucille on fire, I don't know, that was just one of those moments that I keep talking about. I keep saying they don't have to do all of this big insane stuff to make the action scenes. We're not asking for a bunch of crazy action scenes with a car crash, like how they cut the car crash part out of this episode. No one cared because of what we got afterwards. If you have to make those kind of cuts, do that, because this was amazing. This is what your fans want to see, and you are finally delivering on this. And I have a feeling that the season was going to pick up towards the end. I really haven't been feeling the rest of this season, The Walking Dead, but this was definitely my favorite episode this season so far, without a doubt. Like, without no question about it. This was definitely 100% my favorite episode this season. You know, I felt like this episode really took the story, it focused in on it, and it went full speed ahead with the story, and I really love it when the episodes do that. And the side story they had going on with Maggie and the people and the new group that we're seeing, a lot of people are thinking that they're a group we meet way later in the comics, that they're you know, the founders of the group or whatever, or they're going to be involved in it. It's called the Commonwealth, but I'm not going to talk about that because that's kind of spoilers. Sorry, I don't know, I messed that word up there. That's kind of getting close to spoilers, so I'm just not going to really talk about that. But overall, like, I think that group, that whole side thing was interesting. I saw a lot of people say that they felt like it was really out of place in this episode during the Rick and Negan fight, but I liked it. I thought it was something really interesting, something really intriguing, and man, they the reward for it really paid off when they handed Maggie like that big book, you know, of how to farm and plant and build up you know, a community and stuff like that. structures for building, blueprints, and all that. So with that being said, like that's going to come and play. Like that small little side storyline that felt like it came out of nowhere, that's going to come and play throughout like the rest of these seasons now, if this is anything like the comics. And this was an episode that pretty much nothing in this episode happened in the comics. Like nothing. This was a completely comic free episode. And see, there's nothing wrong with it when you do it like this. If you're going astray from the comics, make the changes that you need to make in order to make it good. Nobody has a problem with them straying off from the comics, as long as they do a top-notch job with it, as long as it feels epic, as long as it feels awesome, as long as it feels right like this did. And I feel like a lot of fans were really satisfied with the direction this went in. I know I definitely was. So this has me really hyped for like the rest of this season, because everything's just getting set up. There's still 4 episodes left. I wasn't expecting things to take this turn so close to the end. So with that being said, right now, like I'm thinking these next 4 episodes of The Walking Dead are going to be outstanding, like all the way through from start to finish. And I think these next 4 episodes are going to be mind-blowing. Like I don't want to get too excited right off the bat, but I'm starting to think that this second half of the season of The Walking Dead season 8, I'm thinking they still have a chance to make this just as good as something like season 6's second half. That second half of that season was amazing. I'm thinking they can do that with this season if they keep going in this direction. Like last week's episode, in my opinion, was a step up. It was a step in the right direction. Episode 10 was all right. It wasn't bad, but at the same time, I don't know. It felt kind of slow, and there were just some things that I didn't really care for all that much. But for the most part, it was a good episode. It was decent, and had a lot of stuff that was needed in order to build up to this episode, which was amazing. And then, of course, you had episode 9 earlier, which was the Carl episode, where we said goodbye to him and everything, which was a good episode. Still kind of waiting to see how they continue to use that decision. At this point, I still don't really agree with that at the moment, at least the timing of when they put it in there. So we'll see with that in the future. But anyway, back to this episode, lots of great stuff. And once again, that whole second storyline that they had going with those group of people, that was awesome and everything. I personally really liked it, because we're kind of seeing a lot of Maggie from the comics start to come out. Maggie from the comics is definitely a stricter, more ruthless leader than Rick is. By that point in the comics anyway. So with that being said, I really like that they showed us that, yeah, she's pretty ruthless. She's pretty she can be pretty cold when she wants to, but at the end of the day, she's going to go forward with what Masson is saying and what Carl want them to be. What he wanted for them. It looks like they're really going to move forward with that idea, which is a good one, because Carl, even though the way it was being presented, what he was saying, even though that kind of in a way doesn't seem realistic for this world, at the same time, if you want to make this world better, if you want to start heading back towards the way the world used to be, or at least a better version of that, then you kind of have to imply some of those ideals Carl was talking about. So I did like seeing that come full circle here. But anyway, so moving back on to the Rick versus Negan stuff, but that once again, that whole scene with the flaming Lucille was absolutely amazing. Like freaking Rick and Negan, they're fighting all these zombies around. They're in this little space. Like there was a ton of zombies in there. Zombies are on fire and everything. You got Negan and Rick swinging around a flaming bat, bashing zombies over the head, trying to kill each other all in the process, jumping through windows and stuff. That, like, that should give you enough. Like, that scene, that whole fight scene was amazing. Like, definitely one of the best 1v1s on the show so far. Like, I mean, that was pretty good. That's up there with like Rick versus Sane. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Like, there was Rick versus the Governor, but I never really thought that fight was massive. It was good, but you know, like, but that one was up there. Definitely, in my opinion, one of the best action scenes in The Walking Dead. In terms of intensity, like, it was super enjoyable. But anyway, I'm gonna stop fanboying out over that because that was amazing. Flaming Lucille, man, I never thought we'd see it. But anyway, Negan gets away, and we see him at the end of the episode. He's in a car, and boom, they drop another bomb. Jadis has them. Man, that is the way The Walking Dead is supposed to be. Like, I want that. I want this kind of thing every week. I want these super awesome scenes where it just leaves our mouths hanging wide open and stuff, and like the episode ends on a crazy scene like that, and we're like, oh my god, they did not just end like that. I can't wait until next week. That's what we want from The Walking Dead. So yeah, this episode overall was pretty badass. Like, I can't wait to see next week's episode. It looks like we're gonna have all of the survivors, all of the people at Hilltop versus the Saviors, and Simon is leading them. So this season, the end of this season is building up to be interesting. My only question is, I wonder who's gonna get Simon. I really do at this point, because we know Negan is going to be out for him after he found out he lied about the trash people and he killed them all off. Because in a way, he kind of screwed Negan over in the end there. You know, Negan's point was proven right. But anyway, so yeah, it's either going to be Negan, Rick, who knows, someone like Rick or Maggie might get him. What I'm thinking is going to happen, I heard some people say Jadis, but what I'm thinking is going to happen is Simon is going to lead this thing through until the end. And you know, maybe Negan shows back up. Maybe he openly challenges Negan. And I'm thinking Dwight is going to double cross him, and Dwight's going to be the one to kill Simon. And then, of course, he's going to go forward with Negan in the last battle and stuff. And then, of course, he's probably going to double cross Negan at some point. That's how I'm thinking this season is going to go in terms of the Savior storyline. But with that being said, guys, I've talked enough. This episode was so great. I was so hyped up for this episode. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want this video to be too long. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave likes and definitely leave some comments. Tell me what you guys thought about this episode down below. And hit the subscribe button if you really enjoyed the video and want more like this. I am going to be doing more Walking Dead videos this week. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth on this new group that we saw. And I'm also going to talk about what I just talked about here at the end with Simon and what they're going to do with him towards the end of the season. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. ZFR out, guys.